Go ahead and get started.
Sounds good. Coach
Yeah,
Catholic.
go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna open it up here, a couple comments. First thing, our thoughts and prayers are with Thad Mangan, one of our defensive linemen. Unfortunately, he got some tough news this past weekend. His father passed away unexpectedly. So really been a tough week for all of us down here, thinking about Thad and his family. And also want to send our thoughts and prayers to the family of Coach Snellenberger. And saw that this morning on the way in. He was obviously a legend in our game, especially in this state, winning a national championship in Miami and starting the program there at FAU. I also want to thank all of our fans. I thought we had a great atmosphere today. I thought it was a beautiful day right here in Tampa and Ray J. I just stood out there really during a lot of the game thinking about, man, this has the potential to be a very special place. And so really appreciate all the fans that showed up today and look forward to having you back this fall. Really proud of our players. It's been a tough year. I showed our team this morning during our team meeting before we came over here, a picture from our one and only practice on March the 10th, 2020, right there at the end of that practice. And really from that point till now, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of challenges across the world, not just in football, but also trying to play football and work through that time. It's been a lot of adversity, no question about it. But, our guys really have stuck together. And my message to our players this morning is that we're in a lot better place right now than we were a year ago when we left that field after our first spring practice because of the way that those guys have responded. So today was fun. I appreciate Michael Kelly and the leadership working it out, and everybody here at Ray J to allow us to come over. I mean, this was a blast for our players to come over here and finish spring practice. So, really pleased overall. Good to see a lot of the young guys get in there at the end and make some plays. And, I told our guys, hey, now after this game, we get to get back together on one team. And whenever you split up your teams, you'll see some plays here and there. But when you put everybody together back on the same team, same sideline, we got a chance to be a lot stronger. So I think we have about 180 days before we kick it off up in Raleigh. So really proud of the way these guys finished spring, and now we'll look forward to the summer ahead. Now, with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Chris Torello, go ahead.
Coach, just to kind of talk about the quarterback competition. I mean, it looked like Cade Fortin, had himself a nice day, but the other guys as well. Just what were your overall thoughts on Cade and the rest of the QBs?
Yeah, it went just about like I thought that it would. I felt like all of those guys would have an opportunity to make plays. You look at Cade coming right out the gate, first play. Usually you start off with the first play and there's some jitters or whatever, and guys, don't quite make the throw or the catch. But to be able to come down and lead us on a touchdown first drive, that really set the standard, I think, for the day. And Weaver made two nice plays there. So I thought Cade did well. I felt like Jared really settled in right there, that last drive before halftime. That was a 2-minute drive. I mean, that's another reason, that you play these spring games, is to put guys in situations like that. And I felt like Jared was really at his best when he had to right there in that 2-minute drive to be able to go down and get a touchdown right before half. And then, to see both Trey Marsh and Timmy McClain come in, I think hopefully that just made everybody smile a little bit thinking about the future of our program here, because both of those young men are very talented freshmen, and they played like that all spring. And, Trey has a big league arm. I think he was able to show that. I think he threw for 125 yards and 4 pass completions out of 6 attempts. And then it was great to see Timmy get in there, and he did not look like your typical freshman. Usually a guy that's been here for 3 months trying to figure out where guys are lining up. And, Timmy looked very smooth and led some nice drives there. So there's no doubt overall, really pleased. Obviously, Cade has been around a little bit longer than the other guys. But, I've told those guys at the beginning of spring ball, there's no advantage in trying to name a starter right now. We're going to let those guys continue to compete. We got 4 months before we get back here in August. And fall camp is really, I think, when kind of be the fourth quarter, probably that quarterback competition. But right now, I'm very pleased with our quarterback situation.
Leo Haggerty, go ahead.
Coach, with everything that you've been through since last March,
is the biggest positive getting through spring and playing this game?
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, I think obviously last year, whenever they canceled spring ball, we weren't even thinking about that, right? Because your mind was immediately trying to figure out what was going on with the coronavirus and all the new things that were going on with that. So we just kind of moved past that in our mind. And then, this spring, getting out there, going through those 15 spring practices, there were several times I get back in the coach's locker room and I'm like, how in the world did we not do this last year? How do you prepare a team without going through these situations and practice? I mean, there's so much that you're able to get accomplished. It's not just 15 practices. It's the day before and the day after that you meet. I mean, it's over 30 days that you're out there with those guys. But yeah, there's no doubt. It feels a lot different. I know we're not quite completely out of the woods yet, but, we feel like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, at the end of the day, everybody went through adversity. Not just us, a first-year staff, every team in the country. I believe some teams will come out stronger than when they started, some may not. And I feel confident saying that our team is definitely coming out stronger after everything this group went through last year.
Nathan Bond, go ahead.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. You had mentioned throughout the spring you wanted to get, the deep ball going. It wasn't really there for you guys last year. A lot of deep shots today that connected. Was that one of the key points into today, making sure you guys were able to hit those deep shots?
Yeah, and really, we did that in practice for the last 14 days. I know you guys don't get an opportunity to see all that, but we threw the deep ball today about as much as we did every day in practice. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, our offense is built on making big chunk plays, because if a defense is not worried about you throwing the ball down the field, then it makes it extremely hard to run the ball, because they can get a lot of guys around the box and to stop the run. But if you always have that threat to stretch the field, then they have to, keep those safeties back and open up some run game, and you get a chance to kind of keep them guessing a little bit. But that's probably one of the things I'm most pleased with the offense overall is probably our completion percentage. And to be honest, I thought we had maybe 2 or 3 that we should have connected on today to really kind of keep it the way it's looked all spring in practice. But we were able to make some nice plays down the field, and that'll be something we'll continue to stress going into the fall.
Will Turner, go ahead.
Coach Ernie Sims picks up the win in his first, head coaching, quote unquote. Just, how impressed were you with what he did today as the head coach in picking up a 10-point?
Yeah, well, I think it probably says a lot about what I think about Ernie that I named him the head coach for the green team. He's been a full-time coach for maybe a month and a half, and he got his opportunity. He's going to be a head coach one day. I have no doubt about it. He's got a very bright future. I mean, number one, who he is as a person. I mean, he's a man of character, integrity. He's a guy that I want around our players every day. And then when you add his experience playing the position, his knowledge, and all those type of things, our linebackers absolutely love playing for Coach Sims. And we're very fortunate to have him on our staff here at South Florida.
Kelly Quinlan, go ahead.
Coach, just kind of what do you look for? I know that fans maybe put a lot on these spring games. What is it that you're specifically trying to watch when you're watching the game today?
Yeah, well, it's tough. Number one, I know how many guys were out. I think we had maybe 4 or 5 defensive linemen out. We had 3 offensive linemen out. Latrell Williams, who's one of our top 2 wideouts, was out today, did not get to go. Y'all got to see Andrew Stokes one punt, and then he kind of tweaked something there, so we kept him out the rest of the time. But overall, what I look for is how the guys respond. Whenever the green team got up, I don't know if it's 21-0 there, how was the white team going to respond? Is it going to be 21-0 at halftime? And then the white team came back and scored right before half, and then came back and scored in the third quarter. You want to see a competitive game. You want to see, you don't want to see one group just absolutely dominate throughout. You want to see guys making plays on both sides. And really the big thing I was looking for in the fourth quarter was making sure guys weren't going to quit and seeing how guys played, because I think we had 134 snaps today. There was a lot of D linemen that played just about every snap because we didn't have a lot of depth today. And so I really watched those guys, the offensive line. I watched those guys all the way through to the last play to see if those guys would dig deep and play all the way through. And overall, I was pleased with what I saw. Offensively, I was disappointed in a couple of the turnovers there in the red zone. We're going to get that cleaned up. But also on the defensive side, happy to see those turnovers. So you're never really pleased, I think, as a head coach whenever you're watching a scrimmage or spring game. But overall, I was really proud of the way the guys competed all the way to the end.
Matt Baker, go ahead.
Jeff, what was your assessment of the run game today? What do you think worked, what didn't work as well?
Yeah, we really didn't get an opportunity to have the success that I think that we probably will and hopefully will. There was a lot of younger guys getting some opportunities. I think we had a couple freshman walk-on offensive linemen out there getting a lot of reps up front. So they were swimming a little bit and going the wrong way a couple of times. And I was standing back there so I could kind of watch and see some of the things that were going on. But a little bit is, again, how people play you. And if they're going to put a lot of guys in the box, then you're going to take those hitches and all the quick stuff that we threw outside. But I have to go back and watch the tape overall to be able to really see. But I knew we were going to be a little bit thin at the offensive line with some of the guys that were out. And saw a few guys stick it up there and make some plays. Good to see Darian Felix had some nice runs there in the second half.
Chris Terrell, go ahead.
Coach, just a lot of last year, the defensive side of the ball, it wasn't what you wanted. It wasn't what Coach Spencer wanted. I mean, what did you see today? I know, guys going at it, they've gotten familiar with each other this spring, but just overall, what did you like about that side today?
Yeah, I saw a little bit better speed running guys down. I saw guys like Tramel Logan running down the sideline and making a play for no gain. You saw guys like Boyles finally being healthy now after missing so much time in the fall, out there making some plays. Saw some guys in the secondary. I think we've gotten bigger and a little bit faster back there on the back end. And again, the spring game, as coaches, we kind of understand whenever you split the squads and we had a little bit more depth probably in the offensive skill than we did with some of the defensive skill. So we got to kind of take that into consideration a little bit. One of our starting corners, Day, was out today also. But overall, I saw a little bit better speed than we had last year closing in. And I saw some physical plays as well. But I'm looking forward to getting all those guys on defense, back on the same side here moving forward.
Kelly Quinlan, if you have another question, go ahead.
Sure, Coach. In terms of just moving ahead, kind of what does the offseason look like now for you guys? And kind of, you didn't have one last year, so I imagine you're excited just to have offseason workouts and that kind of thing going.
Yeah, so next week, we're going to give the guys a few days of break. They'll come in and lift on their own next week, and we'll have position meetings. They'll meet with their position coach next week. Every player will meet with me. I'll meet with all 106 guys individually next week and just give them feedback on their spring and talk to them about their goals and what they need to work on and accomplish here going forward in the summer. And then 3 of the next 4 weeks, we'll get back together. We'll have 10-hour workout weeks where we'll be in the weight room with Coach Artis, and then we'll be in the meeting rooms and be able to do some walkthroughs. I know our guys are looking forward to a break with spring break, and they definitely earned that because they've been going hard for 3 weeks. So we'll have a spring break. Then we'll come back. They'll have exams, and they'll have a little bit of a break after exams, and then really get back and have 10 straight weeks of summer conditioning, summer workout. So now the big challenge is, the guys, kind of the player leadership. Now those guys have to take over the workouts and get the guys out there on the field. And I feel really good about our leadership on both sides of the ball. And I know those guys will definitely not change the standard now that the coaches have to step aside.
Leo Haggerty, go ahead.
Coach, you don't have an facility, a little bit of a negative, but you walk a recruit into this stadium where the Super Bowl was played. That's got to help recruiting, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was walking around during pregame. We're looking at the paint left over from the Super Bowl. So that was, not many people are playing their spring game on the same field as the Super Bowl. But I mean, I just stood out there today. It was a beautiful day. You're standing around, and again, I was standing on the field the whole time, just looking around, saying, man, this is a beautiful place. And we got a great venue right in one of the best cities in the country. right here in Tampa. And today we were able to put that on display. And there's no doubt. I think Ray J is awesome for us. Our players enjoy playing over here. And I look forward to getting back over here in September.
Nathan Bond, you have a question? Go ahead.
Coach, it's kind of, getting ahead of things a little bit. I know recently the state of Florida announced starting April 5th, adults 18 and over can get vaccinated. Have you guys started, discussing with the players what the next steps are, educating them on, getting the vaccine against not getting the vaccine, waiting and things like that?
Yeah, that's going to be really big here in the next couple of weeks. I did have a parent call on Wednesday, a Zoom call with the parents, where our medical staff was able to visit with them a little bit, kind of give them a heads up of what's coming here these next couple of weeks. And, as we get more information and some decisions start getting made of what options our young men will have, then we'll have some meetings with them and educate them. And again, I'll just say this, we have a huge advantage having USF Health in our backyard. Dr. Sneed is an awesome connection for us, Dr. Corris. I mean, we have a great relationship with them. So I feel like our players are in probably the best situation in the country for having access to the vaccines when they do become available for them.
And final question, Leo Haggerty. Leo, do you have another one?
Yes, I do, Coach, and thank you for your time. When you get home today and you settle into your easy chair and see how your brackets are doing, are you finally going to exhale and take a little bit of a break, or is it just going to keep going on?
Oh man, well, I probably will sit down in my chair, but I won't be looking at the brackets. I didn't even know they were playing right now until you just said that. It reminded me. So locked in. Other than watching our women's team play, I haven't really got a chance to watch too much of that. But overall, my feel is going to be just that we accomplished something we couldn't do last year. Make it through a spring, and not just make it through a spring, but really get better. And these guys, again, I'm just so proud of them, the way they pushed, the way they've shown up every single day. We're off to a great start. The first 3 months of the year, the first quarter is over, and I'm probably going to sit down just with a lot of optimism for what we have ahead of us because of everything I've seen from these young men for the last 3 months, and then what I saw again today.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate
Very
it.
much.
Thank you.
All right, Yates. You got it, baby.
Stepping up now is Rashawn Yates, defensive lineman. So once he gets set. Okay, questions for Rashawn? Kelly Quinlan, go ahead.
Sean, how'd it go today? Was it nice to be back in Ray J with some fans and to kind of have a reset after the last tough season?
Yeah, I feel great. I haven't had a spring game since my sophomore year, and it wasn't enough, that much people. It was at the soccer stadium, so it was a way different atmosphere. And and I think last time we had spring game, I don't know if we had two different teams. I can't remember if we had enough people to do that. So it felt good doing that. It felt like actual game atmosphere.
Will Turner, go ahead.
Rashaan, you guys had a lot of defensive linemen out today due to injury, but a lot of guys playing a lot of snaps. It's kind of similar to last year almost. With a lot of guys playing a lot of snaps. Just how did that feel for y'all?
Obviously it's tough because it's 40 linemen on each team, so it was pretty tough. But I think we pushed through. I was happy. I was proud of us both sides. I was looking at the other side, and sometimes it was 12 play drives, and they were just sticking it through. So I'm proud of both sides and the whole D line as a whole. Especially with the unfortunate, sometimes I think we had two D linemen go out the day before the spring game. So I'm just proud of them, really.
And, following up real quick, that, having that last year, what have you guys done to work on your conditioning, to put yourself kind of in better situations if you have to do that?
I mean, first of all, I think we live in Florida, so we sweat every day, and so we have an advantage over a lot of people with that, and just the conditioning, with our old coach, Coach True, I appreciate him because he put us in a good place. So our conditioning was great. So I think we got a lot better from last year.
Matt Baker, go ahead.
Will Jones was the leading tackler for you guys on green. I'm just kind of curious what he's brought to this team from since he got here.
I'm sorry, can you say it again? Who? I couldn't
Yeah,
hear.
Will Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, what has he brought since he came over here?
He's a dog. He kind of reminds me of like Tyrann Mathieu. Honestly, you know what I mean? But he just doesn't say, he says what he doesn't say a lot. But he flies to the ball, and he's a good pickup we had. Like great pickup actually. So I like playing with him a lot.
Leo Haggerty, go ahead. Okay, any other questions for Rashaan? No? Okay, Rashaan, thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Next up, Cade Fortin. Again, just raise your hand. If you have a question, we'll call on you. Okay, Chris Torello, go ahead.
There we go. Cade, just how did it feel moving the ball? You guys attacked downfield real early on. Just how did it feel getting out there? You had different receivers, some of the younger guys. Just your overall assessment of today.
I think it was a great day. I think we really put it all together. I think we executed well, especially with the guys that like Weaver, going out making plays and some of those guys. But then also when we kind of got into more of a rotation, that just goes back to the work that we put in the off season. Throwing 7-on-7, making sure that you're getting chemistry with guys. So if the starter goes down or whatever, we got the next man up and there's no drop off.
Matt Baker, go ahead.
Hey, Cade, what's your assessment of your spring as a whole, and just kind of how far that you feel that you've come?
Yeah, I think going into the off season, I had a lot of stuff I wanted to work on. I think throughout the spring, one of the biggest things for me was being consistent, and I think that started back in January. Being consistent with rehab, being consistent with working hard in the workouts and doing little extra things to help me be successful. So I think throughout spring ball, that's one thing that I kind of harped on was just being consistent with everything that I did.
Will Turner, go ahead.
Cade, you and Xavier got into it early, with that first pass and linked up for 2 touchdowns. Just how much has your relationship grown with him? It's looking like it could be a pretty valuable connection for this team this year.
Yeah, I think we've definitely developed that relationship through the off season, going out and getting extra throws, even if it's just us. And I think really it's me trusting him and him trusting me that sometimes if there's a coverage or whatever, we've done it so many times throughout spring ball that hey, he knows I'm probably going to throw it to him. So I think it's just that chemistry that we've developed and things that we've consistently done throughout practice that's really given us an advantage and building that chemistry.
Kelly Quinlan, go ahead.
In terms of just getting used to the offense and that kind of thing, where do you feel like you're at now? You've got the 15 spring practices under your belt, plus the time that you got in the fall, which was limited because of everything going on. But just kind of where do you feel like you are in terms of understanding the offense right now?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely at a way better place than I was last fall, last year. I think, with Coach Weiss and really being able to get in the playbook and learn the different nuances and really learn what he likes and try to be an extension of him. So when I'm on the field, I know, hey, it's this coverage. I know Coach Weiss is, this is why he's calling this play. So really building chemistry on the field with the players, but then also building chemistry with Coach Weiss and the different coaches on the offense and, really trusting those guys and trying to be an extension of them on the field.
Any other questions for Cade? Will, go ahead.
Now that you guys go into this off season, you get the 10-hour weeks. Coach said it's going to be a lot of it's going to come on y'all to get out and go and get extra practices. How much does discipline play a factor into the off season and trying to get work?
the discipline's huge. And I think that goes back to being consistent and really, taking it to heart that, hey, we're going to go out and work because, the months in January and February, we put in that work and, it really showed up in spring ball and how much it helped us improve. So I think talking to these guys and making sure that guys are excited about doing the day-to-day work, I think will be important to talk to them and say, hey, we put in this work and it was only a couple months. So just think about what we can do if we stay working hard all the way through the off season leading up to the season.
Okay, any other questions for Cade? If not, we'll let him go. All right, Cade, thank you very much.
All right, thank you all so much.
Finally, we have Xavier Weaver. All right, questions for Xavier? Kelly Quinlan, go ahead.
How much are you expecting your phone to blow up after the catch and the spin move for the touchdown? That was very video game-esque play.
Oh man, I don't know. It was just instinct. So I hope people seen it. I hope people watching it. Yes, sir.
Okay, Matt Baker, go ahead.
How much progress have you guys made kind of with the vertical deep passing game this spring?
Oh, a whole lot of progress. Just the trust. It comes with the trust first, and then after that, the execution. So once we get that trust, the execution just coming along.
Will Turner, go ahead.
You and Cade were kind of locked in from the start with the first deep ball and obviously the 2 touchdowns. Just how much has your relationship and chemistry with him grown this spring?
It's grown a lot. Just in the spring, after practice, before practice, stuff like that, workouts. Just us being able to trust each other. And just being able to communicate, learn the coverage is different. So after that, we just having fun at this point.
Nathan Bond, go ahead.
Xavier, on that second touchdown, it looked like it was a play. The defense jumped off sides. Did that change your route at all? Did you know, or was that just the route you ran with the back shoulder?
Oh no, I didn't change my route at all. Just ran the same route. Just a great throw by the quarterback, Cade. A little back shoulder ball. I seen it try to turn last second, and it happened. So just had to make a play after that.
Okay, any other questions for Xavier? Kelly Quinlan, go ahead.
How do you feel like you guys have improved, as a receiver room this spring? I know last year was tough for everyone on the team, but just kind of how much do you feel like this group has stepped up together?
No, I feel like we improving a lot. We still got a lot more improvement to go, but I feel like we coming along. Just the way we communicate with each other, it's like a brotherhood in that room. Especially we got someone like Coach Scott in that room coaching us. He knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about. So getting everybody locked in, being able to take the notes and being able to execute on the field, I feel like we're growing tremendously.
Okay, do we have any other questions for Xavier? I don't see any other hands raised. Okay, Xavier, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, guys.
And that's our last subject. Postgame. Everyone, thank you very much for joining us. All right, have a great weekend.